loving for him, I'ma make it happen. Now my dream's reality, not going back to. You say that you proud of me, I turn my back, you laughing. Now I hit the scene, they like lights, camera, action. Living in a dream, now my music, they be blasting. Step out, I'm a star, always in the latest fashion. Had to set the bar, try to catch me lacking. Bank account for my son, he won't have to struggle. You can see it in my eyes, all I do is hustle. They tried to knock me off my feet, I'm ready to rumble. Felt like I ain't ate in weeks, working off the muscle. Oh yeah, oh my, we ride for my brothers, no lie. All you can die, never wrong, they right. I ain't changing my side, yeah, we in it for life.
Coach, thanks. As mentioned, we are on the North Shore of Pittsburgh. It's sold out Heinz Field in the Steel City. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Cleveland Browns and the Pittsburgh Steelers. The children will groan. It's the final weekend of summer, but we've got the NFL, and we're underway on EA Sports. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get this from the 25 to the 30 for a pickup of 5.
All right, Brand, I know we're in the early going here, but those kind of runs, they're going to open up a world of opportunities for this offense going forward.
Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5.
Check. Frag down. Hey, alert.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And they see right through that defensively as he'll be hit and taken down to the backfield. That'll be a loss of 4 yards on the play. And that'll bring up a 3rd down. From the shotgun, it's Mayfield. And he will not be able to hang on through the contact. It's incomplete. The coverage strong, and now it's 4th down. So the defense able to get off the field here on 3rd down.
And it's one of the goals of the game. They've got to be effective on passing downs. It's one of the few things defenses chart. How did we do on 3rd down? That's a nice start for them in this one.
And just a single punt for him in the loss last week as he sends this one away. Sights on the end zone, no doubt, but is brought down after a huge return there. And they'll have a short field to go as this drive starts on the fringe of the red zone at the 20.
We go! 15 line. You got tight. Go!
Boston Scott, his first carry. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. The pickup goes for 13 and sets him up 1st and goal.
And there we see an early burst that makes him one of the leading rushers in the league.
Well, I want you to know, I listened to you yesterday when we were watching film. You said write down the word vision for him. It was on display there, wasn't it?
It certainly was, because he allows the blocks to set up in front of him. And if that continues, it could be a long afternoon for those guys trying to play some defense.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. Looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. They'll say no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd and goal. They'll try again here from the 7 on 2nd and goal.
Check 26, check 26. Check go.
And he'll be stopped just outside the 5 at the 6. The 2nd down play, not much better than the first, just a gain of 1 there.
A lot can go wrong when you call a play like this down in the red zone, but that's where you appreciate this from your head coach. He's not afraid to trust his guys to do the right thing, and as a player, that means an awful lot.
On 3rd down, James. And this effort won't be enough as they rally up to stop him a couple of yards short. 4 yards, that gets him close to the goal line, but it also brings up a 4th and goal. The kick by Carlson is good. And the Steelers will jump out to a 3-zip lead. In the end, the opening drive, Charles, does yield points. Maybe not the touchdown that they wanted, though.
Yeah, but bottom line, they wanted to get something out of that drive, and they did that. 3 points, they won't turn that down at all.
Go! Go!
The Browns drive about to get started. And a 3-and-out on that first drive. We'll see if they can do better here.
They should have a better opportunity because the nerves should be settled now. That first series, everybody goes out with a little extra emotion. So now they get a chance to go back out and say, okay, now we're into the game. Let's go play and play as best we can.
You almost get a mulligan then on that first drive?
Sometimes it absolutely serves that way. You get a second opportunity. Nothing big happened. But then again, you didn't commit any mistakes either. Off you go.
They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31.
Watch the slant, watch the slant. Watch the slant, watch the slant.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And he tried to bounce it outside, but they'll stop him behind the line. That 2nd down play nets a -4.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
Mayfield down. Looks to throw, fires right side, and that's going to be incomplete. The coverage too good there. The contact popped the ball free, and it's 4th down. The Browns send out their punter now as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. James now to return. Good blocking there, nearly sprung him. As it is, it'll go as a 19-yard return. And this offense takes over in great shape right at the 50, 1st and 10. So good starting field position for him here as they come up 1st and 10 right at the 50-yard line. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play call to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber with runs like this early because they'll pay dividends as the game progresses.
On 2nd down now, it's Scott. Give him a yard on the run there, and that's going to set up a 3rd down and 2.
Well, we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
So 3rd and 2, this quite possibly 4-down territory, though, if they're stopped.
He's coming, he's coming, he's coming. We got double up, double up. Check out.
Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. And he finds a man with a crossing route. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or two shy of the 30. A gain of 10, good for a Steeler first down. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. On the carry, this is Scott. And that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up 2nd down.
Okay, ready? Max 50, Max 50. Guys, it's game situation. Let's go.
2nd and 13. Rolling to his right. He'll run it. And give him 10 that time as he was able to get away from the pressure and get a nice gain.
Let's go now. Hard, hard. 10 Lobo. 36.
On 3rd down, James. And he's going to be taken down here still a couple yards short of the first. Just a 1-yard pickup there, and it'll be 4th down. So out comes the field goal team now for the 2nd time here today. He connected on his first, this from 41. Carlson able to put this one through. And that'll make it 6-0 here in the first. So scores on their first 2 possessions, but 6-0, so field goals probably not what they were hoping for.
Yeah, you're exactly right about that. Not what they were hoping for, but they should be happy that they have points on the board. It almost feels like that old slow and steady wins the race, doesn't it? In this case, though, they want to be slow and steady now, but get explosive later and put the points up on the board.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
And with the play clock winding down, we're going to get a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. And this should be the final play before the quarter ends.
3 bud.
And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be 2nd down. So the first play of the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14. From the gun, Mayfield. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on, 3rd down. So he can't hang on, and as I watched that unfold, I remembered an expression that I've heard, maybe from you, I don't know, but you're going to get hit anyways, might as well hold on to the ball.
Well, you know a coach said that, right?
Yeah.
Not an actual player. Not a chance at all. Way easier said than done.
Mayfield looks to throw. That is caught by the former Gator Antonio Callaway. They'll get 11, but it'll still lead to a 4th down.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. And that is much too long. That's into the end zone for a touchback.
Let's go.
The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. And their 2 drives thus far both led to points, albeit both field goals, so the lead just 6-0, but the ability to move the ball is evident.
Well, that's, heartening, as they say, but it's not what they're about. What they're about is putting the ball in the end zone and putting 6s on the board. So if you're the offensive coordinator, you like what you're doing, but you don't love it. You've got to find a way to ring that bell. Then you can have a little self-satisfied grin. Right now, a little more determination is needed.
It's a 7-yard pickup. They'll be looking now to 3rd and 6.
That's a really good job right there. Just kept stringing that play out, pushing him further and further towards the sideline. Really good fundamentals by that defense.
He was trying to put his foot in the ground and turn upfield. He just couldn't.
No, they really had a picket fence in front of him. No room to find to get upfield.
The Steelers on third down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This will be 3rd and 6.
Hey, Haywood!
Looking to throw. James has got it. Complete. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. The Steelers able to pick up 18 yards there.
60 Pittsburgh.
On first down, it's James. Trying to run inside, but nothing there. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
That didn't appear to be a run blitz. He just darted in once he saw the run develop. That appeared to be a case of see ball, get ball.
Topper! 6 guys! Check 6 guys! Get it!
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. He'll wind up getting 4 there on his own, but it will leave him now with a 3rd down situation. The Steelers on 3rd down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 7. Back to throw here. And he's going to find his man out of the backfield. That's complete. Certainly not what they wanted there. No gain, and it's 4th down.
Usually the offense has an answer to anything a defense throws at them, including a safety valve. And that's what they did on that play. They went there, but the defense still made an excellent play and held them to no gain.
He was only asked to punt once in the victory last week as he sends this one away. 35 yards that time on the punt, and the Browns will take over 1st and 10. The Browns drive about to get started. So far, they've had 3 drives, 3 punts. Not good.
Not good indeed, because you've got to have something to show for being out on the field. Now, sometimes, if you have a game where neither side has scored, 3 punts isn't a bad thing. But when you're trying to set the pace, get up on top in a game, you've got to show better offense and find a way to put some points on the board.
The loss of 3 on that first down pass play, now 2nd and 13. Mayfield. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 22. And they're going to take over right there at the 22-yard line. He had a little bit of the turnover bug last week, 3 interceptions. Not an absolute disaster, but another one here. Do you start to get a little worried?
You worry about your team as a whole because you have to find a way to make those interceptions, quote-unquote, go away. And that means your defense. They've got to go out there on sudden change and at least hold people to field goals. And if that keeps happening, they lose confidence in the quarterback, and then no one plays well.
It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
At the 16-yard line.
6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4.
He's crashing. He's checking crash.
And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. They'll wind up losing 3. And now it's 3rd down. A 3rd field goal of the first half, not what they're looking for as they come up on 3rd down. They'll look to throw. He'll find Smith-Schuster. That's complete. And they're going to mark him down short, maybe by about a yard, if that. The completion good for only 6, and that'll bring up 4th. 2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. A reminder, coming up at halftime, we'll head to Orlando. Standing by there, Jonathan Coachman. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL in this 2nd week of the regular season. The kick by Carlson is good. And that will make our score 9-0. They got the interception, but very little movement after, and that forces him to settle for 3. And it does feel like settling when that happens, doesn't it?
It certainly does, but we got to give a lot of credit where it's due, and that's to the defense because they ran onto the field. This is what we call sudden change, right? Interception, you got to go put out the fire, and they did, holding them to a field goal.
The Browns drive about to get started. They'll be in search of their initial points in the contest, trailing 9-0 as they begin with a first down. Now a throw right side taken in here to start this drive. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. 23 yards, the final tally. Working out of the gun, Mayfield. Pressure comes and down goes Baker Mayfield. T.J. Watt causing the disruption. He gets the sack. Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. Gotta imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on second down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. He's going to air one out. Now that'll be tipped and intercepted. Picked off at the 23. And this one will be returned to right around the 38-yard line.
Oh, and that's a nice job defensively to get a piece of the football. He's going to pop it into the air, and then it's the tip drill. And good concentration by him to react to it and pull in the interception.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
And this is going to be caught, but they'll say out of bounds. So it's incomplete. Defensively, celebration time because they finally forced an incompletion. He was perfect throwing the ball to that point.
Yeah, but from his viewpoint, they didn't force the incompletion. He just missed. That's how hot he is right now, and that's how he wants to continue to throw the ball.
They come up now 3rd and 5 following the incomplete pass.
Come get some. Come on here. Come get some. Let's go. 25.
And he's got the first down yardage as he takes it down to the 49. Now the Steelers use the second of their 3 timeouts as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. Could we get a touchdown in this first half after all? It's 1st and 10. They're going to look to throw. He's going to rifle one deep left side. And that will be incomplete. Would have been a big hitter if they had connected. Instead, it's 2nd down. Just his 2nd incompletion so far. He's 8 for 10. I think he'll take 80%.
There's no doubt that he will, but if you're the defensive play caller, you better circle what you just dialed up on your play sheet and come back to it because you just caused an incompletion. You need a few more of those.
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. Going top shelf for Smith-Schuster. And that'll be incomplete. Good protection that time, and they couldn't hook up on the long one. Now it's 3rd down.
Sure, that pass was incomplete as they made an attempt to get a big one downfield. But that's okay because the second part of that is if you don't get the completion, at least you've told the defense you're trying to stretch them out a little bit, and they may have to change accordingly.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10. Now back to throw. Flushed out right. Oh, you saw that one coming. It's intercepted. Throwing back across his body. Picked up by Josh Jones. And he takes this one back into the end zone. And the Browns defense has a touchdown. You think you're going into halftime with a good-sized lead. Not so fast. That pick six really changes the complexion. Probably also changes the halftime speech.
No doubt about it. Instead of going in relaxed, you're probably a little more uptight right now. Probably a little bit angry. Let's see if they can get their focus back.
And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. Time for a final kneel down or a safe run, and then they can head to the locker room with a lead.
Yeah, or they can even run a screen. You know, something they feel is somewhat safe. that might actually pop and turn into a big play, that's what you usually run in this situation.
Or go 4 verticals because why not?
Because you're feeling it, right? You're just feeling it.
We have hit halftime. Still 2 more quarters to go. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back after this. You're watching the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. It's in the game. So time for the second half as the Steelers have the lead, and they will also be receiving the football here to start the third quarter. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had the ability to see what you've done. They're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? You adjust yourself and try and stay ahead of the pace because you are looking for some separation in this ballgame.
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Without a doubt. Show them one thing, hit them with something else.
A gain of 5, good enough for the first down. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Now a give, right side. Scott. He's got the first down and more past midfield. And he'll take this down to the 40-yard line. That's good for 21 yards and a first down.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball, protect this lead, give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. So a 1st and 10 upcoming from Browns territory now, right at the 40. Here's James. Oh, that's just not fair, and now room to run. A good gain again. That's now 31 yards combined on those last 2 plays.
Partner, I remember a coaching friend of mine used to tell his running backs before games, make sure you run and jog with your offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking when those big behemoths start to create space for you up front. He did a pretty good job of just following those guys through there for a nice explosive run.
Still a few inches short of a first down as they come up now on 2nd down.
Watch safety creep. Watch safety creeping. Set up.
Nice job there defensively to clamp down because really they've been on their heels this drive.
Agreed, and they really needed that one for confidence, just to feel a little bit better. But I don't know if I would be daunted by them stopping me on one run. This drive has gone pretty well. I could come right back at them.
They'll run on first down. It's Scott. Heck of a broken tackle and able to work this down near the 23. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 3.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
They go again with Scott. He's got the first down inside the 10, and he's in. Touchdown, Steelers. Boston Scott, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Steelers, they broaden their lead. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And that makes this a 9-point game. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This is taken at his 4. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line.
At their own 23-yard line.
The Browns drive about to get started. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. 14 yards, and it's a Cleveland first down. You know, despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made.
There he goes, right side. And he takes it down deep into Pittsburgh territory. It's a big play there for the Browns. 42 yards.
First down, Browns.
So now following the big play, they've got a first and goal all the way down at the 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And here he'll get it down to the 7. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up second down.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
Following the pickup of 4, here's second and 6. Now Mayfield. And he's got it. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's third down. They'll come out in the pistol.
Here we go.
And they'll get him down about 3 yards short of the first. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it's going to leave him with a fourth down.
Not your conventional play call, but that's okay. You probe the defense a little bit with some of everything in your playbook. That way they have to account for everything as the game moves on.
And his kick here is good. And the deficit trimmed to 6 now at 16-10. A good drive gets them inside the 5, but they could not punch it in.
And credit the defense, too. Make sure that happens because that was the old bend but don't break approach. Made sure they contained them when they absolutely had to and forced the field goal attempt that went through.
The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. And it's a unit last drive that did it all on the ground, Charles.
And they controlled it from the interior, big on big, right? Offensive lineman versus defensive lineman. But, you know, in order to keep the football moving downfield, other people have to get involved as well. Your wide receivers, your tight ends, lead runners, anything that you have possible to get in front and keep the ball moving.
And now the defense may be looking out for a pass coming up. Here's a 2nd and 2 now from the 33. They'll keep it on the ground. Scott, and he'll be brought down right around the 37. 4 yards the pickup, first down.
2nd and 2 is prime time for a little bit of a gamble, isn't it? Open up the playbook, go play action, toss that bad boy deep. But in this situation, go ahead and give it to your back. Let him pick up a first down, keep the sticks moving.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
It's our time. It's our time. Check 50. Check 50.
On the ground, it's James. And that play went nowhere. Losing yardage. It'll be back at the 36. It'll be a loss of 1, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 11. Back now in Pittsburgh. It's Steeler football, and they have the lead as well as we begin quarter number 4.
50, plant. 53. Quit talking about it. And rock it, get it.
On second down, it's Scott. And the hole closes quickly there. He gets maybe a couple up to the 38. He was close to flirting with that sideline, but able to stay in bounds like his coach wants him to do and keep that clock moving.
Isn't it funny that we're watching this play when we had that discussion just yesterday about this? What do you do in this scenario? What do what's your mindset? It appeared to me that he totally forgot that he needed to stay in bounds, and then the last second, oh no, I better get down, and he ended up doing the right thing. But at that point, maybe close to letting it slip away.
Pretty solid gain of 7 yards that time as he scrambled, but now they face a 4th down.
Let's get it.
Here's Michael Pilardi now as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one.
The Browns take over 1st and 10.
Let's go, get excited, let's go.
20-yard line.
The Browns drive about to get started. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the 3-point.
The kicker.
Exactly. He put it through the post. That's going to help him at contract time. But that offense, they're thinking, let's get in the end zone this time.
I don't know if that helped him at contract time. You could have kicked that one.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Super tough.
The 2nd down attempt there, knocked down as it leaves the quarterback's hand, and it's incomplete.
Maybe a little frustration starting to creep in. The offensive line hasn't done a great job of protecting him in this game, and there he was, hit again as he threw it.
Yeah, another time on his backside, probably starting to get a little frustrated.
Got to keep his composure. Can't let the defense know that they're getting to him.
Now on 3rd down, that pass knocked down in the backfield and incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
And he gets it away, a directional kick going toward the sideline. And this punt goes out of bounds, and it'll be marked inside the 40. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
Good yardage as he rumbles for 24 and a first.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the 4th as it was way back in the 1st, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8. The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Now Scott. And he'll snag about 5 yards down to the 32. The recipe's pretty simple, I think, right? Just give your superstar the ball, continue to feed him.
Yeah, don't overthink this one, right? Make sure he's touching the football, but you're also counting on his intelligence in playing the game as well. If it's not there, don't force the run. Just make sure you hang on to the football and keep the clock ticking.
Mike, 53, Mike.
Out of the gun now on 3rd down. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. In for the score. And the Steelers, they broaden their lead. And that is the definition of yards after catch. They go short on the pass, and the receiver does the rest.
Seems so harmless, doesn't it? To throw it underneath, a short pass like that. But boy, it gets dangerous in the hands of the right receiver as he makes a move and takes it the distance.
Under a heavy rush, and down he goes.
But they tried to get two and ended up getting none because the quarterback had nowhere to go with the ball and ends up getting sacked.
Nowhere to go at all. Great job, though, defensively. They were ready. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Browns drive about to get started. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Looking to throw again on second down. Mayfield. That's taken in by Callaway. And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. That'll move the sticks for the Browns, a gain of 12. Mayfield now, a perfect 8 for 8 to start the second half. Not bad. 1st and 10. Throwing, Mayfield. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's second down. We have not seen a whole lot of wide-open receivers. Everything seemingly has been contested.
And that's another nice job there to force an incompletion. They've been very cohesive, knowing each other's moves all game long, and they've been on the spot just about every time.
And they've held them in check on the scoreboard. Another throw on second down, and this one incomplete as well. The Browns on third down. A pretty woeful 0 for 5 thus far. This is 3rd and 10. Going to the air again with Mayfield. And a big loss here as he's taken down.
You know, on these types of plays, we're always looking to assess blame. Okay, where did it break down? Sometimes it's just a great play.
And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter. Let's see how this plays out. To throw, Mayfield. Looking deep downfield. And that is incomplete. The Browns unable to move the chains on 4th down. And the Steelers, they're going to take over an excellent field position. So 1st and 10 now from the 30.
All right, T, let's go. All right,
Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
Well, he was looking for some running room, and there wasn't a whole lot of it there on that play. I think he was lucky to get a couple of yards out of it because those defenders, they were rallying to the football pretty quickly.
Set, ready? 90, Wolf. Go, go. Get down.
Here's 2nd and 8. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down. That one good for 14 yards and a Steeler first. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So the Steelers with the football as we get you reset. And you'd have to figure they're just looking to burn these final 2 minutes away and get out of here with a victory. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. So he got free of 1 tackle but couldn't do a whole lot else. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6.
Go, go. Go.
Oh, design run for their wideout. I don't think anyone in the building fooled right there, as that one is going to blow up in their faces. They call that a loss of 6 yards. And it's third down now.
Ready up. 53's Mike. Check. 53's Mike. Let's go. Hey, lock it. Get it. Back,
on play action, they'll throw. Oh, incomplete. Nearly the pick they needed. They would have loved one there, but at least it does get them to fourth down.
I think he's taking an awful chance with the football right there. You've got to lead, you've got to protect it, and he's taking chances putting it out there in a little bit of jeopardy.
Especially in a spot like this, fourth quarter, as you said, trying to cling to that advantage.
Yeah, that one probably should have been picked, huh?
And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Browns drive about to get started. And on that last drive, went for it on fourth, turned it over. Good job by their defense, though. They held them to 3, but this offense, they've got to be a little bit better, a little bit more careful here.
And sometimes when you see these calls on fourth down, when they decide to go for it, it's not necessarily the coach saying, I believe in my offense. Sometimes the coach saying, I believe in my defense. I can afford to go for it here, because if we don't get it, I don't think we'll give up more than 3. And that's exactly what happened.
You think that factored in?
I do. I think that he had that in his mind going into the game, that I'm going to be aggressive on offense because I know I've got a defense that can hold up their end.
On first and 10, Mayfield. And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. Now the Browns will use the first of their 3 timeouts as they'll stop it with 27 seconds showing on the clock. Throwing again on second down. Mayfield. And he went backwards. He'll be down at the 30. He lost 4 there, and it's third down. And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds. That'll be good for 6, but now it's fourth down.
6 yards on the play. Brings up fourth down.
All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on fourth down. They're going for it. One last shot for Mayfield here. And that will be incomplete as time has run out on this football game. So this one in the win column for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And they were spurred on by a strong performance in that fourth quarter as they held their opponents off the scoreboard.
Everyone wants to pitch a shutout for the entire game, but when you throw one in the fourth quarter, that tells everyone that you're getting stronger and dominance is starting to take over, right? The way that you close, the way that you finish, that gets preached to you from the time you're playing Little League football all the way up through. And they closed them out with a big-time performance down the stretch.
So for Pittsburgh, they used a favorable early schedule to their advantage as they move to 2-0. And they'll hit the road next week to take on the Buffalo Bills. Meanwhile, for Cleveland, they'll drop to 0-2. And they'll look to get back on track next week as they travel to Denver to take on the Broncos. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Alongside Charles Davis, we thank our entire crew. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This is the NFL on EA Sports.
That's 20 others, that's 20 bones in the
triple school. I got 3 strikes, ain't got to lose. When it's all on the line, what you gonna do? Come on, I'm highly favored. Don't wanna blame me, no conversation, ain't got time for no debating. Just wanna take it, no hesitation, don't try my patience. I'ma pour out one for the set, boy, till there's nothing left. I'ma run to the bed until we never think we get. Hear them footsteps coming, cause we coming for the jet. We ain't gon' run, no we don't hide. I can never switch, not a day in my life. Lost my cause, by my side. Yeah, we gon' ride till we die, die, die. We ain't gon' run, no we don't hide. I can never switch, not a day in my life. As long as my dogs stay by my side. Yeah, we gon' ride till we die, die, die.
My sons, bag up off me and watch you lose. Snoop Dogg is on the mic, I'm giving Madden blues. And if you choose to run up on me, you gon' get laid out so fast. Cause I can get you with the run or I can hit you with the pass. I can't be touched and I can't be schemed. Roll you when I'm in a mud league. 2-0, Madden time on you suckers. Y'all can't get close, so why you wanna touch us? Cause my team is so hard. My team is legit. Madden 20, Snoop Dogg is. I get it. I got cleats on my feet, jersey on my back, helmet on my head, ready to attack like that. Down in Mississippi and New Orleans, big Snoop Dogg got a Madden league. Your team is off the hook and you don't really want none, but if you do, come and get some. See, tell your mama and tell your daddy, and tell the whole damn world it's Madden territory. Tell your mama and tell your daddy, and tell the whole damn world this is Madden territory. Come get some if you want some, but you ain't bad enough, so you can't take none. I'm Big Snoop Dogg, and I'm the only one. And when it comes to Madden, all y'all fools my sons. Bag up off me and watch you lose. Snoop Dogg is on the mic, I'm giving Madden blues. And if you choose to run up on me, you gon' get laid out so fast. Cause I can get you with the run or I can hit you with the pass. I can't be touched and I can't be schemed. Roll you when I'm in a mud league. 2-0, Madden time on you suckers. Y'all can't get close, so why you wanna touch us? Cause my team is so hard. My team is legit. Madden 20, Snoop Dogg is. Now get it. Big Snoop Dogg. It's in the game.
Cook it up, gourmet. I go Super Saiyan, gold tank. Anything I ever do is top rank. Got more boys than a Shawshank. Cook it up, gourmet. I go Super Saiyan, gold tank. Anything I ever do is top rank. Got more boys than a Shawshank. I don't wear ball mains. All I ever do is ball main. I am not a rapper, they all lame. I am not dope, I'm hard. Wait, I can power up and level up at any moment. Spitting like a semi, only give me semicolon. Couple zeros like I'm sending yell nets. Every flow is unmatched and I better get set in it. Finish them. Mess around with me and I diminish them all. Even if I ever did the minimum, all. In the Arizona, I'm better killing them all. Rogue One, but I got a team with me. Batman when I got a team with me. I get mean, I get green. Show the whole game what's never been seen. Cook it up, gourmet. I go Super Saiyan, Gold Tank. Anything I ever do is top rank. Got more bars than a Shawshank. Cook it up, gourmet. I go Super Saiyan, Gold Tank. Anything I ever do is top rank. Got more bars than a Shawshank.
Designer sneakers hurt my feet now. Every beat is getting beat down. Couldn't eat, well watch I eat now. Like how you getting paid to freestyle? Different cities every week now. Every woman is a now. What state brought you looking bleak now? I was home to sleep designer sheets now. 30 different missions. When I speak they listen. Couldn't find it so she fishing. Who the crew, it wasn't you. I know it's true cause you look like the opposition. Run it up. Greatest ever